fell for bed, oh. She cover me close. She say make me sleep, 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 my pikin, oh. When I dey hungry, my mother go run up and down. She dey find me something where I go chop, oh. Sweet mother, sweet mother, oh, hey. When I dey sick, my mother go cry, cry, cry. She go say instead when I go die, make she die, oh. She go beg God, God help me, my pikin, oh. If I no sleep, my mother no go sleep. If I no chop, my mother no go chop. She no dey tire, sweet mother. I never forget the suffer when you suffer for me, yeah, yeah. Sweet mother, sweet mother, oh, hey. Hey, mama, sweet mother. I never forget the suffer when you suffer for me. Yeah. Hi, sweet mother. Sweet mother, I never forget you for the suffer when you suffer for me, yeah. Sweet mother, I never forget you for the suffer when you suffer for me, yeah. When I dey cry, my mother go carry me. She go say, my pikin, wetin dey cry, yo yo? Stop, 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 stop. Make you no cry again, no. When I wan sleep, my mother go beg me. She go lie me well well for bed, oh. She cover me close. She say make me sleep, 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 my pikin, oh.
Warm greetings. I thought I'd let you listen to my signature tune, Sweet Mother, because it's about remembering who we are and our connection to our motherland, but knowing that we carry that bit of our motherland wherever we are. Today, Wednesday, the 3rd of February, 2010. This is Africa Speaks with Sister Ekua on Voice of Africa Radio 94.3 FM. And we're going to discuss a very important topic. As you know, we've all been watching, trying to work out what way forward for Haiti. So tonight our topic is 518 years later, which way forward for Haiti and the rest of us? And I just want to begin with two quotes just to preface the show. The first one is Haiti is a light, or Haiti est une lumière. That's, the French. And that is by Alexandre Dumas. And the second one, very, very important quote that I want us to think about is always bear in mind that people are not fighting for ideas, for the things in anyone's head. They are fighting to win material benefits, to live better and in peace, to see their lives go forward, to guarantee the future of their children. And that is from Amical Cabral. I think that's a very important quote because as we're discussing this evening, we're remembering, and we should be remembering, that people are not fighting for ideas. It's not about the ideology. It's about the material benefits. It's about the better life, a life that we can live in peace, to see our lives improve and advance, but more importantly, to guarantee not only our present, but the future of our children. Since 1492, when Christopher Columbus and his fellow invaders came across an island that was variously called Haiti, Bohio, or Kiseka by its Taino inhabitants, Europeans have sought to establish their dominion over what were previously sovereign territories and nations in the Americas. However, despite a courageous and admirable history of resistance to oppression, culminating in the Africans in Haiti restoring their freedom and declaring Haiti a free republic on January the 1st, 1804, contemporary Haitians have admittedly recently suffered a devastating setback. As Haiti begins to recover from the devastation caused not only by the earthquake, but also the years of maldevelopment, impoverishment of the nation by way of reparations payments to France, the installation of successive regimes of neo-colonial US political proxies, and the overthrow of the democratically elected President Jean-Bertrand Aristide, not to mention the imposition of structural adjustment programs, a quick question that we need to be asking ourselves is what is it we need to do to get to a world where such conditions no longer exist for this and future generations of Haitians. This show is a follow-up to the 20th of January show that we did on Africa Speaks entitled, Do Africans and Their Ascendants Have the Power to Defeat Imperialism in the Pan-African World? And this was a dialogue on the efficacy of African and Caribbean responses to the former Presidents Bush and Clinton, as well as President Obama, in addition to examining the crimes of Anglo-American imperialism in Haiti, as well as its implications for the wider African world. However, in this show this evening, we will explore the geopolitical significance of the contemporary Haitian struggle for self-determination and sovereignty to defeating imperialism and European domination and restoring our place in the world. Moving beyond mere critique, we will highlight concrete steps that can be taken in the process of assisting the rebuilding and redevelopment efforts of the peoples and government of Haiti. Hopefully not just idle talk, this show aims to pose a challenge to all of us as African, as well as our African and Caribbean nations, those of us as peoples, as social justice movements and organisers, to step up our efforts individually and collectively to bring about a paradigm shift through the re-dynamisation of our popular social movements in not only how we conceptualise and strategically take action to redress our socio-economic reality, but also how we can concretely and collectively work to defeat imperialism and European domination in our lifetime. This need to move beyond the paralysis of analysis and truly demonstrate that we are not only learning the lessons of our story and his story, but more significantly, that we are indeed ready and willing to lead ourselves into securing what has been termed the African century becomes more urgent as we assess the times and what is to be done.
Ofcom to change Voice of Africa radio frequency. We have been appealing to our listeners to give us their feedback concerning this issue. We'd like you to kindly go online to our website, www.voiceofafricaradio.com. Look in the top right-hand corner and click on the panel that says Ofcom to change Voice of Africa radio frequency. Click on this panel, read the information, and leave your comment in order to influence the decision. Thank you very much.
We have on the telephone line the founder and director of the Mariandina AIDS Research Foundation, Professor Charles Sali. Professor Sali is a Ugandan medical doctor and researcher in both Western and traditional herbal medicines. As we have told you before, after 10 years of research and development, he has produced the Mariandina pills, which treat diseases by rebuilding the immune system to fight diseases like lupus, diabetes, hepatitis, AIDS, among others. In Uganda alone, Professor Sali has treated 18,000 patients with an 80% success rate. The Mariandina pill is a non-toxic natural herbal nutritional booster.
Eat good food, fresh vegetables, and take Mariandina.
For your Mariandina supply, call Voice of Africa Radio on 07507 844 883.
For your local supply and information, just go to the website
voiceofafricaradio.com.
Greetings, warm greetings. You are listening to Africa Speaks with Sister Ekua on Voice of Africa Radio 94.3 FM, www.voiceofafricaradio.com. Our subject this evening is 518 years later. Which way forward for Haiti and the rest of us? And we're very honored to have with us our very special guest this evening. I think it is the first time on Voice of Africa Radio, and that is the Honourable Cynthia McKinney, the courageous founder of the Dignity Action Movement, who is a former US Congresswoman and Green Party US presidential candidate. The only representative willing to talk about 911 for knowledge and world-renowned for her anti-war and human rights activism, McKinney introduced articles of impeachment against former President George W. Bush, former Vice President Dick Cheney, and former Secretary of State Condoleezza Rice. McKinney has also been a staunch advocate for the survivors of Hurricane Katrina and a critic of the US government's response. Cynthia McKinney is currently investigating the deployment of US armed forces to Haiti. Welcome and greetings, Cynthia McKinney.
Well, it's wonderful to talk to you, Sister Ekua, and I'm happy to be on the show and within the listening audience of all of the people who can hear our voices.
Okay, that's great. Now, you have been out there. You are one of those women who I personally have so much admiration for, the way in which you have courageously stood up, you know, not only when you were in office, but in terms of the work that you're doing now, stood up against injustice. Now, what's your perspective on what's happening in Haiti today?
Well, there's several things that I think we need to remember when we look at, in particular, the U.S. response to Haiti and the earthquake that literally crumbled the lives of so many people in that country and killed an estimate now of upwards of 200,000 or more. First thing that I think is important to remember is that Iran, Venezuela, Bolivia, Cuba, Ecuador, these are countries that are all in the crosshairs right now of the U.S. military. And therefore, they also need to pay very close attention to what's happening in Haiti, and I know that they are. The first point that I think is important for us to note is that the current government of Haiti, led by René Préval, was not the choice of the United States. If we'll recall, in 2004, President Aristide, who was duly elected by the people of Haiti, was kidnapped on one of those CIA rendition planes and taken out of the country and put in Africa where he is now in South Africa. And then the Haitian people were determined that if they couldn't have Aristide, they were going to have their choice. And the Americans had helped the Haitian elite to rig the election. They printed 86,000 blank ballots, and they were going to count those ballots. Now, here is a voting ballot, and it's got no name on it, and no mark on it from the voter. It's a blank piece of paper, and yet they were going to count that as a vote against René Préval. But the Haitian people demanded otherwise. They demanded that their votes be counted accurately and that the election result reflect their will as a people. And that's how René Préval became president of Haiti. We have to remember that so that we can understand the proliferation of NGOs that descended upon Haiti. And it's important to note that the United States funnels its assistance to Haiti through the NGOs, not to the government. And this is a direct attempt to subvert the effectiveness of the government. But thank goodness Haiti has friends. And these friends that I'm talking about are the likes of Venezuela, Bolivia, and Cuba. And of course, we all remember that Hugo Chavez went to Haiti, and he finally said thank you. After 200 years, he said thank you for the role that you Haitians played in helping to liberate us from the Spanish polio yoke. Not just people in Venezuela, although Venezuela's tripartite three-color flag was first raised not in Venezuela, but on Haitian soil. And the Haitians, after they secured their independence, they donated soldiers and weaponry to Simón Bolivar and fought next to him as they defeated the Spaniards. So this is the legacy of Haiti in relation to Latin America, and I believe why the United States, part of the reason why the United States is taking such a military interest in Haiti, because just as Haiti was pivotal in eliminating the Spanish colonial yoke from Latin America, now I believe the Obama administration is looking at this fortress of an embassy that they're building, the fifth largest embassy U.S. embassy in the world is being placed in Haiti. And I think the Obama administration is looking at this policy of rollback on the people's liberation efforts that have been successful in Latin America thus far and imperiling the gains that the people have made in Latin America with Haiti as the springboard for U.S. military intrusion and invasion into their affairs. Another point that I think is interesting to note is this idea about the NGOs that exist in Haiti. U.S. NGOs that get assistance from the United States Agency for International Development get 99 cents out of every dollar. 99 cents out of every dollar that supposedly is appropriated with the idea of uplifting the people of Haiti. 99% of that goes to NGOs. And then, of all of the dollars that are being raised now in the aftermath of the earthquake, according to the government, the president, as of 2 days ago, all of the money that's been raised for Haiti, the government has not seen one dime. Not one dime. This is important. So now we have the United States senators sitting in their lofty chairs offering as a solution to the Haiti problem, a United Nations trusteeship for Haiti. Now, Haiti doesn't have a problem with governance. Haiti does have a problem with being under the domination of people who are not Haitian. That's what the problem is, and that's what the senators and this forward U.S. policy is all about. It's dampening the Haitian spirit to prepare Haiti for full pillage now by economic interest in the United States. From the United States, Canada, and France dividing up the spoils, dividing up the treasures, dividing up the resources, and stealing them from the Haitian people. That's why President Obama has sent 20,000 U.S. troops to Haiti. It is sinful and it's disgusting to see this happen before our very eyes.
Cynthia, you've spoken about the role of President Obama. Why do you feel he is doing this? I mean, so many people around the world were inspired to see this African man as the President of the United States of America. But the role that you're saying he is playing, is not something that I think we should be proud of.
Well, we certainly can't be proud of the policy. We can't be proud of AFRICOM. We can't be proud of the drones that are killing Afghanis and Pakistanis and Somalis. We can't be proud of the U.S. and NATO occupations of Afghanistan and the dismemberment of Pakistan. We can't be proud of these policies, the encirclement of Russia and the saber-rattling at China. We cannot be proud of these policies. And the budget that the president just submitted to the Congress is a war budget. It is a war budget. And we can't be proud of a warmongering president, whether he's a Democrat or a Republican, or whether he's black or white, or whether he's a he or a she.
I hear you. Now, in terms of the role of America today, how do you feel that we can defeat U.S. imperialism in Haiti today in particular?
Well, I do not think that the Haitian people will lose their spirit. They've endured dictatorship, occupation, United Nations occupation, U.S. military occupation. They've seen it and had it all. And still, they fought as a free people who understand their history and who understand the idea of human dignity. So I don't think that the Haitian people are going to be defeated because of this earthquake. I don't think that I know that they weren't defeated as a result of United Nations occupation, but the challenge remains with those of us inside the United States and inside these countries that are imperialist. Challenge is with us to change the policies of our country so that other people around the world can live freer and happier lives.
And you've spoken about changing the policies of our countries. How do you think ordinary people can do that? Because that's one of the most difficult things people, struggle with. What can we do?
Well, first of all, we have to understand that although these people who lurk in the shadows are the ones that people feel are powerful, the real power lies with us. We outnumber them. There's more of us than there are of them. And that's why they work so hard to keep us all divided, not united. We can all figure out some reason why we can't work with the other group. In fact, I am about to leave to go to Germany, where there's going to be a NATO conference, and I will be a part of those people on the outside of that conference protesting war and advocating peace. And the preparation of my remarks, I am describing what is needed, and I think what I'm about to do is I'm going to ask for 1 million non-committed voters whose only interest, when I say non-committed, I mean they're not Democrats, they're not committed to the Democratic Party, they're not committed to the Republican Party, they're committed to the principle of peace. And they're willing to shed their political party identity and assume the identity of a voter for peace. And we have got to have that kind of a commitment that's single-minded, so that we're not bought off by a particular argument here or a particular argument there. As long as American voters are trapped in this two-party paradigm, which is really one party, which is the war party, then we'll never get peace. So we've got to shed all of that. We've got to step out of that. And, of course, with the propaganda the way it is, there's every effort made to mess with people's minds to dissuade them from doing just that. So you have groups inside the United States that have liberated themselves from this Democratic-Republican paradigm, and then all of a sudden they're labeled as enemies of the state. So you've got the environmentalists, for example, 2 generations ago, understood that the planet wasn't going to be safe as long as you had these policies that were being put forward by Democratic and Republican parties that all tended toward overconsumption, greed, just the pillage of resources, and of course, in the course of extracting those resources, you're also abusing human resources and human dignity. And they divorced themselves from the status quo establishment politics. And so I'm not surprised then that Janet Napolitano would say that environmentalists are the new terrorists for today. And they are spied on and arrested and incarcerated as if they had killed people. Well, the people who are doing the killing, which is Presidents Herbert Walker Bush and then Bill Clinton and George W. Bush and now President Obama, well, they're the ones who are killing people, not by the ones or the twos, but by the thousands, by the 100,000s. People are dying, and yet there is no legal redress to hold them accountable for their crimes. We have got to change the way we do business in this country. Those of us who are activists and committed to peace and human rights and dignity, we have got to change the way we do politics in this country so that we can get a better result.
Change the way that we do politics. I think that's a really important point, because at the moment in the UK, we're preparing to go into a general election and everybody's trying to court the African vote. but you're advocating for a paradigm shift in how we do voting and so forth. What do you feel that shift needs to become, apart from being non-sectarian?
I think it's excellent that the African vote is being courted by the powers that be. But they can't court the African vote as if it's a cheap date. And that's generally what happens, is that the African vote gets courted, or the African American vote in the United States, gets courted on photographs and kissing babies, but not on policy change. And so the voters then have to say, well, you know, we might want to take a photograph, but we're not going to be tricked into voting for you until you talk to us about substantive politics, about the power of our vote, and what you're going to do for us in terms of policy.
Definitely. Now, you've spoken also in terms of, you know, some of the work that you have been doing, in particular, taking our focus back to Haiti. What do you feel African and Caribbean countries need to learn from this experience?
Well, I think clearly one of the things that, you know, is perhaps the closest is the rapidity with which a tragedy was turned into a military exercise. And a tragedy can strike anywhere for any reason. It can be man-made, it can be natural. But a military response is totally out of order. And honestly, what I saw in the U.S. response was shades of Israel and Gaza. When the Americans said, okay, we're not going to let anybody in. Now, how can you, in the middle of a disaster, say you're not going to let anybody in? Just as the Israelis blockade Gaza. And it was also shades of Katrina. People can go on to www.dignity.ning.com and they can see some of the writings that I've done on this issue. But it was just like Hurricane Katrina as well, where the one survivor said that we needed food and they sent us men with guns. Well, that's exactly the same. There's a playbook. And they keep running, you know, in soccer you have certain plays. In American football you have certain plays. And you run those plays as either a draw play or a screen pass. And so that's the play. No matter what the field is, no matter where you are on the field, the play looks the same. And that's exactly what I've seen in Haiti that we all witnessed with Hurricane Katrina.
Thanks for that, Cynthia. Now hold the line because we do want to speak to you some more. And we're also going to open the phone lines to give any of our listeners an opportunity to call in and maybe ask a question or dialogue with you. So please stay with us. Warm greetings. You're back with me, Sister Ekua, on Voice of Africa Radio, 94.3 FM, www.voiceofafricaradio.com. And we are speaking with the Honourable Cynthia McKinney, who's just been sharing with us some perspectives around what's happening in Haiti, you know, geopolitics and much more. Now, during the break, Cynthia, we had a call from Brother Tagil, and the question that he's, you know, posed is, you mentioned President Obama in the line of being one of the warmongers, but he's saying, how can he be a warmonger when he was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize?
Well, it just shows how corrupt that Nobel Peace Prize really is. I mean, you know, remember, he's in the company of arch-war criminal Henry Kissinger, who also won a Nobel Peace Prize.
Okay. Yep. Okay. We hear you. We hear you. Callers, you can call. The number to call is 0208-180-2523 if you would like to dialogue or ask a question to our sister, the Honourable Cynthia McKinney. So we shouldn't be, necessarily bowled over by this notion of a peace prize. Now, seriously, Cynthia, you have been very active with what's called the Dignity, is it Action Movement?
Yes.
What is dignity?
And this is exactly what we are trying to do now. So it's a good opportunity for me through receipt of this award in Germany. The Munich American Peace Committee is awarding me the Peace Activist of the Year award. So I'm forced to actually put these thoughts that I have on paper, and I'm actually using as a guide a draft paper that was written in May of 2008. And the name of the paper is What 1 Million Conscious Black Voters Could Do. And it is actually a wonderful paper written by Baba Amafika Yuka. Now, I butchered his name. But basically what he's saying is that we need 1 million black voters to dissociate themselves from any political party identity and vote strictly on the issues. And the issues would be based on a platform that the black community would have come together, or these black voters would have come together to buy into. Now, I actually have tried to do that in the past. My father was a member of the Georgia legislature, and Georgia, a lot of people don't realize, but you have lots of black people who live in the southern part of the United States, and many of the southern states are 30 to 40% and above black. And yet the political power of the black community doesn't reflect their presence. There's lots of reasons for that. But it does provide an opportunity for a drastic change to be made if we could have some coming together around the issue. So my father suggested that we needed a black manifesto for Georgia. And so I went about the business of writing one. When I ran for the Green Party nomination in 2008, I also put together a platform that people can see on RunCynthiaRun.org, or they can go to allthingsCynthiaMcKinney.com, and then they can see everything from the congressional office activities that we were engaged in to our campaign, including our presidential campaign. And we had this manifesto, but what we were not able to do was to convince the elected officials who were black when the Republican candidate scored higher on our instrument that we were using to assess the platform and the willingness to support our own platform of the Democrat and Republican candidates for governor. The Democratic elected officials, they abandoned the plan. So we've got to have people who are not so preoccupied with political party, the crumbs that we get from the political party, that they forget the principles, the power paradigm that we're trying to enforce.
Brothers and sisters, let me remind you, we do have Honourable Cynthia McKinney on the line. The number to call is 0208-180-2523. Now, coming back to you, Cynthia, what way forward for you now? I mean, there's so many things that you've done. What's your direction? Where are you heading?
Well, that's a very interesting question. I get it a lot, and I was kicked out of the Congress because of the principal positions that I've taken, and quite honestly, we need some principle in Congress still. So there are a lot of people who are suggesting congressional run, and so, I don't know at this point. I certainly haven't closed the door on anything, and there are people who are looking now for a district for me, and I tell them, well, you go ahead and look and let me know what you've come up with. So I'm just going to take counsel from the people who support me, and at the proper time, I will probably be making an announcement.
Okay, that's great. I think we have a caller on the line. So hold the line, please, Cynthia. Greetings, caller. You're live on Voice of Africa Radio.
Hi, I'm Cynthia in America, and greetings, Sister Ekua in Anglais in England. I would just like to ask the sister in America a couple of questions and make her aware of what I think she's saying and the consequences of some of the things she's saying in relation to giving her homeland, who I love very much, America, a critical analysis. Well, she's referring to what America does with drones in Afghanistan. She's addressing to she's explaining Chavez, a communist colonizer of America at the moment. She's explaining him as a nice treater towards Haiti. So in short, she's giving American foreign policy a critical analysis. Well, I just want to ask Mary, after I think I understand what the consequence of what she's saying. I've explained what I think the consequence of what she's saying is in the detriment whereas America's concerned. Is that if she is criticizing America and complimenting Chavez, she is obviously saying that she's in favor of communism. If she's criticizing America and complimenting the Islamic and Muslim colonization, colonial agenda and military agenda, and she's criticizing America's response to it. Well, she's obviously complimenting auto-suggestively the Afghan Taliban agenda against her country, beloved America. So, what I'm saying practically is that she is, as an American, criticizing two very fundamental ideologies that are moving in on the West and moving on America and moving on a free democratic world, which at this moment is Russia's breakaway and alliance communist communist countries such as Chavez, etc., and the Muslim agenda, Islamic military and political, colonial, business and military agenda. So, as an American, I think when she says the sort of things of a type, the nature she's saying, she should, as an American, decide whose side she is on. Because I don't think it's wise for her, as an American, to be criticizing her country's foreign policy, thus encouraging people with similar agendas to America, which is the Islamic ideology and the communist ideology. So I think that she is not very aware of the consequence and what she's auto-suggestively promoting when she is criticizing American foreign policy in a nutshell in the context in which she is. That's what I wanted to say, and I'd like to hear a comment in relation to that when I come off. Thank you very much for letting me hear.
Voice of Africa Radio, 94.3 FM.
Okay, greetings, Cynthia McKinney. I'm not sure if you were able to hear some of the comments of the caller. Okay, you heard. Do you want to respond, Cynthia?
I will respond, but I couldn't really make out what he was saying.
Okay, I'll paraphrase it. The two comments were, are you aware of the implications of what you're saying, especially given the fact that you are an American citizen? He sort of was saying that if you're promoting Chavez, that you are standing up for communism, and if you are then critiquing the role of America in relation to Afghanistan, then you are also standing up for the Taliban and that whole Islamic agenda, which is exposing your country, America.
Oh, well, that's a very interesting point of view. I'm standing up for self-determination and human rights. And I think that the United States has much more to offer the world than bombs and missiles and soldiers with guns. People need relief. They need agricultural technology. They need to be able to feed their families. They need relief from war and civil strife. And I've been to the refugee camps that house Afghanis. And I've talked to them, and I asked them, do you know what capitalism is? Do you know what communism is? They don't know what capitalism is. They don't know what communism is. But they do have a desire to raise their children in peace and to have a community. And they can't have that because they've got oil that's going to go in a pipeline, and it can either go through Afghanistan into Pakistan, or it can go from Iran to Pakistan to India. And the people in Iran and Pakistan and India wanted a particular pipeline. That particular pipeline is called the Peace Pipeline. But the Americans said, oh, no, you're not going to get that pipeline. You're going to get the pipeline that we want you to have, which is the Turkmenistan, Afghanistan, Pakistan, and India pipeline, the Tapi pipeline. And this is all about oil, and the grand chessboard is written by Zbigniew Brzezinski. So I would suggest that the gentleman actually do some reading about the people who are guiding U.S. policy and what their beliefs are.
That's a good point. Now, you've mentioned, the role of the U.S. in relation to Afghanistan, Iraq, and so forth. There are many African listeners out there who often say, what's that got to do with me? But before you respond to that, we do have another caller I'm going to take. So hold that thought, Cynthia. Greetings, caller. You're live on Voice of Africa Radio.
Good evening, Sister Ekua. This is your friend, Brother Kwame. How are you?
I'm good, thank you, Brother Kwame. Go ahead. Sister Cynthia's waiting for your comment or contribution.
That's what I'm there for. And greetings to Sister Cynthia in America. I mean, Brother G, I think he's completely lost, yeah? America is a very nasty country, yeah? Look what it does to the victims, in the world. America is so sinister that she wants you to believe anything that she says. We know for a fact in Haiti, when, John Bertrand Aristide was president, he uplifted our brothers and sisters there. But what America tried to choose to do was to make sure that Aristide, was removed completely. And they were sponsoring the most notorious family in Haiti, the Duvaliers. The Duvaliers were so despicable, they killed so many brothers and sisters in Haiti. Whereas Aristide had the heart to look after our brothers and sisters in Haiti. But what America is known for, she bullies, she manipulates, and she makes sure that no one who can't stand her will progress. I just want to say to Sister Cynthia, from me, America, how I see it, she is just, the American government itself are the most racist, beasts on the face of the earth, who've killed, who've invaded, who've done so many injustices, You and I know that, our sisters. And Sister Ekua, you listen to me good as well, that America, she will never change her spots. Have a good night.
Thank you, Brother Kwame. Sister Cynthia, really an endorsement of your comments from Brother Kwame there, who's saying that America is, the most racist beast on the planet, really, and that America will never change its spots. But please, can you comment on this notion of Iraq, Afghanistan, Pakistan? What has it got to do with us as African people and people of African descent worldwide?
Well, if we look at what U.S. policy has been in Africa, it's been a disaster. Tupac in a song, I think it's Changes. In his Changes song, he says, give them guns, step back, watch them kill each other. That's basically been U.S. policy for as long as I can remember toward Africa. And in fact, if we recall the book that was written by Mr. Shackelford, who was a CIA station chief, he talked about how Henry Kissinger made sure that both sides were armed so that the Africans could just kill each other. And, so what does this allow to happen? This allows the theft of African resources. So we have to look at what the United States does, not at what it says. And those of us inside the United States have to do a better job of changing the policy and protecting people in other parts of the world from the pernicious policies that come out of Washington, D.C. Now, if you think that it's okay to bomb and send drones into Afghanistan and Pakistan and Iraq and to saber rattle at Iran, and you think that dropping the depleted uranium in those parts of the world isn't going to come back through the wind currents and you will inhale it and you will suffer the consequences, then, that's going to be a tough sell for me. What happens in one part of the world, what is policy in one part of the world, ends up being policy in the rest of the world if it's unchecked. And so that's why the air over London tested positive for depleted uranium. And it will continue to test positive for depleted uranium, and that means that everyone who thinks that they're not affected by what's going on in that part of the world is under mistaken sort of way of thinking, because even their very bodies are affected.
Thanks for that. Okay.
Voice of Africa Radio, 94.3 FM.
This is Diana Hamilton, and you are listening to Voice of Africa Radio 94.3. You are doing the right thing at the right time with the right people, and God bless you. You're great.
Okay, brothers and sisters. Sorry, Brother G, don't know what happened there. So coming back to you, Sister Cynthia, we know we've been taking quite a lot of your time. Just wanted to ask you, in terms of when you were, hopefully we will see you back in Congress, because we do need people like you who can stand up for your principles. But when you were in Congress, what are some of the policies that you were advocating that you feel, got you removed?
Well, first of all, I filed articles of impeachment against Bush, Cheney, and Condoleezza Rice. I voted against every Pentagon appropriation, considering it immoral to spend so much money on war when millions of children go to bed hungry every night. I wrote legislation to ban the importation of coltan from the Democratic Republic of Congo into the United States because of the horrific human rights abuses committed during its mining. And of course, when I was there shortly after September 11th, I asked of the Bush administration, what did it know and when did it know it about the tragedy of September 11th? And then against President Bush's boycott, I led the Congressional Black Caucus Task Force at the 2001 World Conference Against Racism. There are many more things that I did, but those are just some of the highlights of the things that I did. I didn't care if the Democratic leadership or the Republican leadership said, this is not your business, stay out of it. If those who remember the civil rights movement will also remember that that's exactly what was told to Martin Luther King Jr. They told him, stay out of foreign policy, you just stick to civil rights. And Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s response was that he had been fighting segregation too long to segregate his moral concerns, and then he came out against the war in Vietnam. And then, of course, 1 year to the day later, after he came out against the war in Vietnam, he was murdered. So I understand that sometimes we have to walk these walks alone, because even our friends shy away. I won't say that they cower, but they choose a different path. But I have as my heroes and my role models the people that actually took a stand, and their stand made a difference for all of us.
Well, thank you. And we do hope to be speaking to you again in the coming months, and certainly to be updated on your campaigning work as it progresses.
I will be in London on March the 8th. And I think the place has already been reserved at the Parliament. A room in the Parliament has been reserved. Let me just double check here to make sure. Yes, March 8th, and there will be a meeting in the Parliament. I would love for everyone who's in the listening audience to come.
Okay, well, let's see how many of us they can fit in Parliament House. Give people your website, please, Cynthia.
People can reach me at
allthingscynthiamckinney.com. Well, we want you to take good care and keep up the good fight, and we will be joining you when you do come to London.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Okay, that was our sister, Cynthia McKinney, a former U.S. Congresswoman, just sharing with us some perspectives. Brothers and sisters, you have been very patient. We are discussing what way forward for Haiti and the rest of us, and really putting Haiti within a global context, because we do tend to focus in a lot, but we also have to look at the significance of Haiti in the world today, and also some of the challenges that we face, but more importantly, how we can build our power to defeat those oppressive forces that seek to hold us down. We want you to stay tuned. I know some of you were trying to call in. Let me hold off your calls for a bit, because we do want to get our next guest on, who is our Haitian brother, Camille Chalmers, to share with us some perspective. He's actually in Haiti, and it would be good if we can connect with him. So stay tuned, brothers and sisters.
You are listening to Africa Speaks with Sister Ekua on Voice of Africa Radio.